So I got up early again. I think I got 3 hours of sleep. The moon has been super bright even though it's waning. Jupiter is looking amazing next to it. I can't sleep. I don't feel stressed. But I think that realization of the past few months, years is starting to set in. There's been a lot of tension. I need to express it in a more optimal way. I've been doing all this stuff in the meantime, trying to figure things out. Been learning some stuff, getting more comfortable with these big changes that I made in my life the past few years. When you start to figure out who you are, you release a lot of things. Connections, because you change. There's no foundation holding the gravity of what once was together. And I can't live in mental loops or those emotional flows which do not benefit myself or others. I can't live in that kind of energy. So I quit my career of over 22 years. Ended a relationship of 23 years, and ended a confusion about myself that was 40 years, 41 years, 42 years old. But that's been a slow digestion. I think all the other changes have been in relation to that maturation process. And what is that? That's getting back to the purity of the self. Trying to dive deep within so that you can go without in a more authentic, empowered way, I suppose. So the river of life. When you're young, when you're early imprinting into this world, there's trauma, there's pain, there's lessons, hard lessons a lot of times. Then as we float along, swim along in life, the river gets deeper and deeper and deeper, and then the feelings are way down here. And then there's this huge layer of emotional loops, currents. And then the perturbations on the top of the water reflect the mind in observance to all there is. Trying to reflect in the most pure way so that it can become what it sees. Then most of us, in life we build our strengths based off of these emotional loops because there's a wound deep within us and we can't get to those feelings because we get pulled into these emotions, which are the feelings of the mind, thoughts pretending to be feelings. Now, that awareness was brought to my attention from someone I was speaking to yesterday. I don't know if I had ever heard that before. Emotions are thoughts pretending to be feelings. But as in life, we hear things and it has meaning when we're ready, when we have digested a lot of other things and we see the value in that knowledge, that perspective. But I know this man has gone through a lot of that kind of thing, so when he said it, it resonated. It had a lot of weight, a lot of gravity. Because it fits in with the river of life. It fits in with my experience and what I see in others. So we go along to get along. We use the ego, the persona, these skills and abilities we develop so that we can mirror the reflection of reality and we can move in this world. But we don't often move from our core, from our central locus of control, from the purity of the self, because we got to swim through those emotional currents into the feelings. And it's hard to find the value in that in relation to this world or other people, especially if others aren't willing to do that for themselves or don't understand the value of it. Because they've got caught up in the game of life, the possession of observance, which in and of itself is part of a process. We're all processing life as we go along. So now, understanding these emotional currents and my hyper receptivity to life, I feel things coming always. When I settle into what that is and I try and name it and I create these expectations, I castrate potential through a conviction of an ideal, something stuck in the mind in relation to observance. And there are people in my life who are stuck in that mode of being close people. So I'm constantly being challenged or given opportunity to develop my ability to disassociate with what that is for what could be. And it's a test of my power, my ability, my digestion, my awareness. Test of the purity. So I'm in that phase now. I know there's changes that need to be made, and I'm feeling the pull to do that. Every time in the past I felt those pulls and I've acted, it's always been for my benefit. It hasn't been easy. It's been insane, some of those experiences. I don't know how I did them, but I did them. Because I just felt what was right and I kept to it. Other people couldn't understand, other people couldn't support it. Some things seemed impossible, yet I did it and it made life better. That's Saturn, when you are faced with the work that you feel needs to be done, and you do it, then the natural expression of that is positive. This, I feel, is at the core of doing the easy thing is seldom worth the effort. Putting in the hard work always gives results. But those results are relational. It has to be the hard work of something that you feel deep within your core to be true. It can't be the expectations of an obligation or another. Otherwise, you get burned out, caught up in those emotional currents. of trying to be in relation to the observance of past dynamics. So now is another changing time. I talk about it all the time. When we speak of things, it's because the realization is coming, and the realization is through action, it's through living, it's through the spirit incarnate, a gift of life. So that's the phase I'm in right now. The world might be happening. Apocalypses every day. Black swan events, all these things people are focused on bringing into manifest form for control states. But life happens. It's not the experience that defines you, it's what you do through the experience. And there's always tomorrow. Every day has a tomorrow. Might not be for you. But if you live every day like it's your last, that's a gift, and that's where I'm trying to get. You have to swim through the nihilism, you have to swim through the polarity of contrast, the darkness. You have to go within to get without. And I know that in that process, you bring a resonance with your authentic self into this world, and you find it in others and in the situations in which you put yourself in, those flows. So shoulda, coulda, woulda. Doesn't matter if you're 80 years old or you're 15 or somewhere in between. I guess you could go up to 180. That's where I'm going. Every day is a new day. Your awareness grows. And sometimes it's just acceptance, essentially. Alright, that's all I wanted to say. Thanks for watching, listening, and being.